A local resident has spotted Matthew's car, a gray Kia, parked outside an apartment building on Danny K Drive, seemingly abandoned. They call Savannah's family, and Savannah's family call the police.
So I don't know how they got the tip, but we've been getting tips from all over the place. And so they got a tip, they started headed this way, I headed this way.
The officers search the car as Matthew's family also arrives. They've heard there might have been a break in the case, but it's the kind of break the officers dread making. Holding up a sheet to keep it private, they found the dead bodies of Matthew and Savannah.
Hi, this is Detective Alonzo with the Leon Valley Police Department. We have possibly a murder-suicide we're following up on. We just found a missing person's vehicle with the two missing people inside. It's going to be obviously a homicide investigation, but I was told to notify the news office to have a heads up whether there's some sort of rigor already setting in.
A resident spotted an abandoned gray Kia outside an apartment complex and called it in. When officers arrived and lifted the sheet covering the back window to keep the scene private, they found two bodies inside. A young woman in the front seat, a young man in the back, both dead of gunshot wounds. For a moment, it looked like a murder-suicide. That theory lasted only as long as it took someone to notice there was no gun anywhere in the car. By the time investigators traced their way back to how those two people ended up there, they'd uncover a broken-down apartment door with nothing inside touched. A family desperate for answers, and a timeline that started 5 days earlier, with a young mother who never showed up for the birth of her own child. Just before Christmas 2023 in San Antonio, Texas, 18-year-old Savannah Sodto and her boyfriend, 22-year-old Matthew Gata, vanished days before Savannah was due to give birth in an induced labor.
Just before Christmas 2023, in San Antonio, Texas, 18-year-old Savannah Sodto and her boyfriend, 22-year-old Matthew Gata, have gone missing. The couple are about to become parents, with Savannah due to give birth in an induced labor at the hospital, but she never shows up.
No one had heard from either of them since December 21st. When police conducted a welfare check at Savannah's apartment on the evening of the 23rd, they found the front door kicked open, but nothing else out of place.
Police arrive at her address to conduct a welfare check. They find her door broken open.
Police, anybody here? Show me hands. So we got a full hallway down here. It's out to the patio. Check the patio.
Police department.
Police. Oh, what you got there, Greg?
Police department.
Aside from the door, there's no other signs of anything?
Yeah. They're supposed to be induced when we check the hospitals.
Yeah, I think they've checked all that.
The television was untouched. A nursery, recently assembled for the baby, sat undisturbed. Whatever had happened here, it wasn't a burglary.
Everything's neat except for the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If someone left, there would be...
a gun later on already?
Nothing in there, partner.
It look clean.
Because
Okay, we did a security check for people.
Yeah,
We're not going to look through anything else.
Nobody looks like they went through drawers trying to get...
No, yeah, there's no, the TV's there, and everything.
It looks nice. I mean,
There's a
they even
speaker.
made a nursery for the baby. So
Yeah,
looks nice.
it's kind of...
Savannah's family gave detectives a documented and troubling history. Matthew had a prior arrest for assault against Savannah, along with a court-ordered no-contact condition the couple had continued to ignore.
I noticed there was an past arrest on September 27th for assault BI against Savannah, and I saw that there was condition of bonds, no contact, right? No.
Family members described a pattern of control and manipulation, and Matthew's own father confirmed that his son had been physically violent with her before.
He was very controlling of her. He didn't allow her to have no social media, nothing like that.
I remember back when her last Christmas, as a matter of fact, right? Christmas Eve, he beat her up so bad at
Where was this at?
at the apartments off of
Marconi Heights, right?
Yeah, I-10, and the ring camera across the hall got everything. The cop was there. By the time I got there, she was gone. I mean, he was gone. it locked him up.
Apparently,
It was the kind of history that pointed detectives toward Matthew as a potential danger to Savannah, or investigators had to consider, toward the possibility that his ties to drug dealing had put them both at risk from someone else entirely. Neither family had heard from the couple in days, adding to the confusion. A gun cache and other valuables disappeared from the apartment sometime after the welfare check, later confirmed to have been removed by Matthew's own father, who said he'd gone back in out of concern and hadn't realized officers still considered the scene open.
And when did you see this
Door?
the stack of money, the gun?
Saturday about 1 o'clock.
1 p.m.
When my son went into the window.
And where was these items located?
The big gun was on the sofa.
Sofa.
The little one was in the closet, and the money was on a little nightstand on top of the dresser, a little nightstand.
And you went in.
3 days later, the discovery in that gray Kia turned a missing persons case into a homicide investigation. Detective Jeremy Goodwin, called to process the vehicle, found blood on the steering wheel and center console, along with a bullet defect near the driver's side visor. Evidence consistent with Savannah having been shot while seated inside.
Good afternoon. I'm Detective Goodwin, Jeremy Goodwin, with the San Antonio Police Department Homicide.
Detective Goodwin is called to the scene to investigate.
The steering wheel had apparent blood on it, as well as the center console. As I looked up, as I'm kind of kneeling down looking up towards the visor, I observed what appeared to be a bullet defect near the driver visor of that.
Savannah was likely shot inside the car, but Matthew may not have been.
The back left tire, the sidewall of the tire had what I believe to be blood on the sidewall of the tire, and then inside the rim there appeared to be apparent blood inside.
Matthew's injuries pointed somewhere different. Blood on the sidewall of a rear tire and the side the wheel rim suggested his body had been positioned against it before the car was driven, meaning he was likely killed elsewhere and moved afterward. Surveillance footage from the apartment complex filled in what the blood evidence had started to suggest. At 11:59 p.m. on December 21st, a truck pulled into the lot with its bed cover sitting at an uneven angle, as if something inside was propping it open. Matthew's Kia arrived shortly after, both vehicles running without headlights. A man got out of the truck and wiped down the outside of the Kia's door with a white towel. His height and build, investigators noted, didn't match Matthew's tall, lanky frame.
The parking lot. At 11:59 p.m. on December 21st, a Chevrolet van is seen pulling in. The truck bed cover is at an angle, like there's something jamming it open. Then, Matthew's Kia is seen coming towards the truck.
So as a vehicle approached, another vehicle came, which appeared to be the victim's vehicle. It approached the truck with its lights off. The truck ends up turning its lights off as well. And then the driver of the truck gets out of the car and approaches the driver of the victim's vehicle.
The driver of the truck gets out, takes a white towel, and appears to wipe down the outside of the Kia door where he touched it.
What does the individual tell you?
He steps out, and when I observed that, it did not appear to be Matthew, as Matthew is very tall and lanky, and that individual did not appear to be that tall.
The vehicles pulled behind the building together. 3.5 minutes later, the truck reappeared. Its bed, previously angled, was now flat. GPS data placed the Kia at a residence on Charlie Chan Drive at 11:50 p.m. Stopped there for 4 minutes, matching an address Matthew had searched on his phone earlier that day. The home belonged to Raymond Presiado, his wife, and their 19-year-old son, Christopher, a pharmacy student close in age to Matthew and Savannah.
First. According to GPS data, it stopped at Charlie Chan Drive at 11:50 p.m. and stayed there for 4 minutes.
So I went to Google Earth, just to see the intersection, see what was in the area. And when I did that, I noticed there was a truck that was very similar to the vehicle observed on 5903 Danny K in the driveway of Charlie Chan. So I decided to research that address.
And what did you find through your research?
I found the residents of the location. The first one I found was Ramon Presiado.
Matthew's internet search history shows he searched Charlie Chan Drive that same day. That makes it likely it was Matthew who was driving before they got there. But as seen on CCTV, it wasn't Matthew who was driving just a few minutes after they left.
I was able to go to our driver's license database. I was able to view a photo of Ramon. And the listing on your DL has your height, your weight, and has a picture of you. He resembled the male observed getting out of the truck, very, very similar. Then I observed that he had a wife at the location, Myrto Romanos, and then I checked the databases and found that they had a son.
Instagram messages recovered from Matthew's phone showed him arranging a cash deal that night with an account tied to the address, followed by a message at 11:49 p.m. saying he was pulling up. When detectives brought Christopher in for questioning on January 3rd, his behavior in the interrogation room stood out before he said anything.
To the police department for separate interviews. Christopher is 19 and a student, majoring in pharmacy, and when he's left alone in the interrogation room, he starts to behave strangely. He pulls his chair in without touching it with his fingertips, like he's afraid of...
He pulled his chair toward the table without touching it with his fingertips, as though avoiding leaving anything behind. His father, interviewed separately, admitted in a sworn affidavit to driving the truck to Danny K Drive that night and identified himself as the man on the surveillance footage. He also identified his son as the one driving Matthew's Kia. Christopher's version, once he gave one, described Matthew growing agitated that night, forcing him and Savannah into the car, and pulling a gun that went off during a struggle first. He claimed, striking Savannah. Then Matthew in a similar exchange moments later.
When he arrived at my house, he was kind of agitated already with me. He was like, man, I told you to be out here already. Why aren't you already out here waiting for me? And he was already agitated. He was like, come on, man, just get the kid, bro. Come on, hurry up. Let's do this and just get out of here. So I was like, what? It was weird to me because that was the first time he's ever, trying to get in his car. So I didn't know how to go about that. I want to be like, no, because I don't know what it was going to escalate to. Yeah. Sorry, it's just okay. Good job, man. Just a shitty situation. So, I don't know.
Christopher says he felt like he had no choice but to get in the car. Savannah was there too.
Dazed, confused a little bit, so I don't know if he was, but he was like, I could tell he was on something, that wasn't his normal behavior, so he's really getting agitated with me. His girl's not helping him. She's trying to talk to him when he's trying to talk to me. I don't know what, she was talking to him about something, but he just kept getting agitated with her. And he was just like, man, can you shut up? He was trying to tell her to shut up. Because when we were talking, I was like, no, I'll just be quiet, I can talk about it. I didn't want the situation already seemed a little nerve-wracking. So after he was getting agitated with her, he has something right here where he has his gun, and what he did was he was already agitated with her, and he was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden he's like, man, bro, you know what? He was like, yo, bro, just get the out, bro, just get the out. So I was about to get out, but I guess I went like this, to grab my phone because I wanted to flash because it's dark in the middle of the night. I had never been in that car before, so I didn't want to step on anything. So I was just opening the door. I was about to open the door. I go like this for my phone. I try to turn the flash on, and then as soon as he does that, he reacts. He goes like this, and he pulls the little gun on me. Okay. I didn't know what to do at that point.
According to Christopher, Matthew pulled his gun.
And then he kind of had it in my face, and I saw I was looking in there. There was already one in there. After he did that, I could tell he was about to pull it on me, so it was it's pretty much in my face. So I go like that, and then he pulls the trigger. Okay. And then are you in the back seat? I'm in the back seat. So he's pointing at you, so it goes off in the back seat. Yeah, well, not in the back seat. Like, I push it because I don't want it in my face. You know, I'm like this, so I go like that, and I kind of push away, and I kind of duck down because I didn't want it to hit me.
But the bullet didn't hit Christopher, it hit Savannah.
She just started, bleeding.
He said he panicked, drove the car to the apartment complex, left it there, and called his father for a ride. The account didn't hold up against the evidence. Christopher said the bullet had struck Savannah's left side. She was found with blood down her right.
But there's a problem with this. Savannah was found with blood all down her right side, not her left.
So after he did that, he kind of panicked.
He claimed he never left the car. Yet blood was recovered inside a wheel rim and on a tire. Evidence that couldn't be explained if he'd stayed inside throughout.
Okay, that shouldn't be there. You stayed inside the car the whole time. Okay, there's also blood in the rims, which shouldn't be there. Did all of this come from whenever you and your dad were at the
There were no drag marks along the console and no blood on the headrest where Matthew was supposedly sitting when he died. Detective Goodwin demonstrated that the angle Christopher described for Matthew's self-inflicted style wound would have required an implausible twist of the arm to produce the entry point investigators had documented.
And he was kind of going like that.
But Detective Goodwin can demonstrate that this can't be true.
This way, right? So if I'm driving here and he's looking this way, if he's pulling here, he'd have to break it, basically bend it all the way here to get the angle that we're talking about up on here, right? So I'm bringing my arm back and trying to get that angle. So doing that is going to be hard to get a contact shot at the angle at the angle of a through and through with a defect by the visor.
Piece by piece, the story stopped matching the physical record. Home surveillance footage recovered from the Presiado property, footage the family said wasn't normally saved, showed a different sequence. Christopher was seen leaving the house to meet the Kia, then running back into frame roughly 2 minutes later, appearing panicked.
Store recorded footage, and when the detectives get a hold of it, it throws everything into question. At 11:50 p.m., Christopher is seen heading out to meet Matthew's car. He's gone 2 minutes. Then he runs back into frame at 11:52, looking panicked. 30 seconds later, he hurries back to the car.
30 seconds after that, he hurried back outside. He had claimed he never left the car and that he'd only called his father afterward for help. The footage showed both of his parents rushing out to the truck together, his mother visibly searching the area for Matthew's car before they left. A clearer picture began to form. Investigators concluded that Christopher had lured Matthew to the house under the pretense of the drug deal, and that Matthew, last seen on his own apartment's camera wearing jewelry and rings never recovered from his body, was killed there, along with Savannah, before being moved back into his own car.
Jewelry on his neck and what appears to be rings on his right hand.
No jewelry or rings were found on his body, and his wallet and Savannah's purse were also missing. In the course of the
his wallet, Savannah's purse, and the missing jewelry were never found. 2 purses seen hanging in the couple's bedroom during the December 23rd welfare check had disappeared by the time officers returned on the 28th. Separately, GPS and CCTV records placed Raymond's truck back at the couple's apartment complex on December 24th, the day after that first welfare check. Christopher was charged with 3 counts of capital murder, 1 each for Matthew, Savannah, and their unborn son, whom Matthew's father said they had planned to name Fabian. Raymond was charged with abuse of a corpse for his alleged role afterward. At trial, Christopher's defense attempted to shift responsibility onto his parents. The gun believed to be the murder weapon was recovered from a closet in their home. The jury wasn't persuaded. Christopher Presiado was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison.
We, the jury, find the defendant Christopher Ray Presiado guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in count 1.
He is sentenced.
At sentencing, one of Matthew's family members addressed him directly. "You took Matthew and you took their unborn son."
"You took Matthew and you took their unborn son. He didn't even have a chance to live. Not one day."
Raymond's own trial on the corpse abuse charge was scheduled for May 2026. It has since been canceled with no new date set. All charges against Christopher's mother were dismissed. A young couple, days from becoming parents, were killed over what the evidence points to as a robbery, not the domestic violence history that first drew investigators' attention toward Matthew, but a stranger's greed for cash and jewelry. What still isn't resolved is whether Raymond Presiado will ever stand trial for what he's accused of doing in the hours after his son pulled the trigger.